The Rakghoul Plague was a disease that infected millions of beings and would devastate portions of the galaxy for thousands of years. Those infected with the disease would turn into mindless, violent creatures called Rakghoul. The Rakghoul Plague was created by a Sith Lord named Canis Mur, who tried to achieve immortality and galactic conquest. At first, he would go on to forge the Mur Talisman, a Sith amulet through Sith magic. The Mur Talisman's power could instantly turn any sentient being into a Rakghoul, a Sith-spawn mutant that only Canis would control. Though a drawback was the Mur Talisman couldn't turn Force sensitives or certain non-human species into Rakghoul. To counter this problem, Canis Mur would create the Rakghoul Plague. This virus was within every Rakghoul, which could infect any being by either biting them or scratching them. Those who were infected by the virus would painfully transform into Rakghoul within 48 hours. During the transformation, victims would bleed from their eyes, skin, and mouth, while their body would painfully twist and grow into a Rakghoul. If told to do so by the Mur Talisman wielder, some Rakghoul would have the intelligence to use weapons and skill they previously possessed before being turned. Before Canis Mur could attempt to conquer the entire galaxy with his slave army, he was killed by his jealous rivals. Canis Mur's spirit would live on inside of the Mur Talisman. Eventually, the Mur Talisman would be taken to the outer rim planet Taris, where it would be forgotten in Undercity. From there, the Mur Talisman would infect millions. It was not until the Mandalorian Wars that the Talisman would be rediscovered by a Mandalorian Neo-Crusader team led by the Mandalorian scientist Pulsifer. Pulsifer took the Talisman from Taris to the Mandalorian-held world Jebel, accidentally infecting his soldiers with the Rakghoul Plague aboard his ship en route to Jebel. The infected Mandalorians transformed into Rakghouls and attacked their former comrades, spreading the plague further in a cascading chain that led to the transformation of almost every Mandalorian and Neo-Crusader recruit on Jebel. Pulsifer would lose possession of the Talisman to the Jedi Knight Celeste Mourn. The Mur Talisman attached itself to Celeste Mourn, who chose to entomb herself and the dangerous Sith artifact inside the Sith Lord Remulus Drapau's Ubulet on Jebel. To prevent the disease from further spreading, Cassius Fett chose to orbitally bombard Jebel with nuclear missiles in order to destroy the infection. All Rakghouls would be destroyed, and the Mur Talisman would be presumed to be destroyed as well. Back on Taris, the planet would still be in chaos from the Rakghoul Plague. With an estimate of 60 million beings infected, the planet would eventually be subjected to an orbital bombardment by Darth Malak's Sith Armada, killing most of the people and Rakghoul on the planet. About 300 years later, the Republic would resettle the planet of Taris. Inhabitants would be terrorized by the remaining Rakghoul on the planet, and discover that some Rakghoul had mutated into Force sensitives, Nekghoul. Nekghoul stood upright and were more intelligent than Rakghoul. They were capable of speech and couldn't infect other beings. Despite being Force sensitive, they were untrained and had very little Force abilities, if at all. The disease would eventually be brought to Tatooine by an infected passenger liner. Both the Sith Empire and the Republic would declare the planet a quarantine zone, and would send containment troops to the planet to stop all infected from leaving the planet. Over time, the Rakghoul Plague would be isolated on Taris and driven to extinction. The Ubulet of Drapau, which contained the Mur Talisman, would be recovered years later by ice miners. Unable to be opened, the Ubulet of Drapau was believed to be a Jedi treasure, and would be sold and bought to collectors for hundreds of years. Eventually, the Ubulet of Drapau would make its way to Darth Vader, who would release Celeste Mourn from the stasis on the desolate moon. Celeste Mourn attacked Darth Vader, and after being overpowered by him, would use the Mur Talisman to desperately save herself, resulting in the Rakghoul Plague being released and infecting nearby stormtroopers. Darth Vader fled, leaving Celeste Mourn alone with the Rakghouls. 20 years later, Darth Vader would send an Imperial scout party on the shuttle to investigate the fate of Celeste Mourn. As the shuttle neared the surface of the moon, Celeste Mourn would use the Mur Talisman to transform all those on board into Rakghoul. After this incident, Darth Vader would order his spy, Wild Tarson, to leak word of a secret Imperial weapon on the moon to the Rebel Alliance. The rebels took the bait and would send a small strike team onto the moon. Upon landing, the strike team would be attacked by the Rakghoul. Celeste Mourn would eventually take the rebel shuttle, leaving the moon and taking the Mur Talisman with her. Celeste Mourn would travel the galaxy for over 100 years. eventually being taken upon the Pelion-class Star Destroyer Iron Sun in 127 ABY. Aboard she would unleash the Rakghoul Plague once more. 10 years passed before the crew of the Mynock and Cade Skywalker would come aboard the Iron Sun Star Destroyer. The crew would be attacked, with Cade Skywalker being bit. Himself and his companion Rey through the Force. Impressed by this, Celeste Mourn would join Cade Skywalker in his fight against Darth Krayt's Sith Empire. After an attack and takeover on an Imperial base on Had Abaddon, Celeste Mourn would transform the base's stormtroopers into Rakghoul and have them attack Darth Reeve. An infected Darth Reeve would escape, and he fled back to Coruscant to notify Darth Krayt of what had happened, before shortly transforming into a Rakghoul. The transformed Rakghoul was quickly killed, and Darth Krayt and his Sith followers would go to Had Abaddon, where they would be quickly ambushed by Cade Skywalker and his allies. During the battle, Darth Krayt would be wounded and presumed dead. After the battle, Celeste Mourn asked Cade Skywalker to end her life, knowing she was losing her control over the Myrrh Talisman. Cade Skywalker accepted her request and killed her. Cade Skywalker would go on to destroy the Myrrh Talisman with the Force, ending its ability to spread the Rakghoul once and for all. Though, despite the Myrrh Talisman being destroyed, any surviving Rakghoul still had the ability to infect others either by scratching or biting them. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, may the Force be with you.